welcome to the best episode of Cancel Schweezy, the best episode that I have ever made. Of course, you know that I am
Schweezy.
Or actually, no, you may better know me as the Foreplay King. Welcome to this episode of Cancel Schweezy, the 11th episode, double digits now. The internet's worst podcast. Welcome to the show today. Fuck you and fuck your family. I want to let you know that fuck your family. This show, I say controversial things, and you deal with it. Like this is the show where we figure out which cartoon characters are gay. Something that other podcasts are too scared to do and too afraid to say the things that I say because they don't have the cojones to say that, or the balls, because what I've learned is women have balls because pee is stored in the balls, and that's why originally it was called the penis. And don't try me on that one.
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
So do not question my scientific knowledge. I know everything.
This is the type of guy you get.
So you know what the fuck is going on. Welcome to Cancel Schweezy, though. Thank you for showing up here today. If you enjoy this episode, first and foremost, like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts on. Subscribe on YouTube. We're building up that platform still and working hard to get that up and going, and like it and leave a comment there to, see what questions and what problems you have with me. Also, subscribe. And you can also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts at, because likely that is also a good thing. Leave a review if you're one of those audio-only listeners. That also increases the show's persistence and knowledge to who we are as a society. The society that I have determined we should be. Like you should know, my new EP, Ride or Die, is out now on all the streaming platforms. That includes Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Stitcher, Deezer, DistroKid, where I got it from, Tidal, Amazon, YouTube, everywhere you get your music. There I am in all its glory. Ride or Die by me. 5 songs about women who don't like to commit and are bitches, and my struggle with that. Very cool. I have heard great things, so thank you so much for everyone listening to it so far. One of my favorite things I've ever released so far in my life, and you get to be a part of it and listen to it, which is great. And Garth, I think Garth likes it too.
And I really like that.
See, he says he really likes it, so definitely something that you need to check out in the meantime. Also, every Monday and Thursday, those dates may change soon, but it's going to be one of those days, I stream video games over on Twitch. Yes, stream over on Twitch. One great thing about that, me streaming over on Twitch, I think this week, I think Thursday might be too close to Christmas, so I may have to call that one off, but Monday, I will still be there, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am getting to a point in playing Breath of the Wild on my own that I'm getting ready to fight some of the Divine Beasts. I might just do that whole thing on camera. I have like 2 left, and I maybe just, do it on stream while y'all get a watch, and it's really, really cool. And Garth,
I really like that.
Garth really likes that too, so come hang out. If you have an Amazon Prime account, which I know a lot of people do, you can connect it to your Twitch account. And so instead of just following the Schweezy over on Twitch, you can press the subscribe button. They're typically worth $5 subscribe, but you get 1 a month if you have an Amazon Prime account. And it's a great way to support me in general, doing what I do. And, if you don't do it, that means Jeff Bezos gets $5 extra. And you don't want Jeff Bezos getting $5. That's shitty. That is fucking shit. Someone just sent me a meme. Oh, a rib condom doesn't smell like ribs. But no, you don't want Jeff Bezos to get money. So definitely hit the subscribe button over on Twitch is the great thing you can do. Also, if you want to be the gold member of everything on the Schweezy podcast universe, we do have a Patreon page. With the Patreon page, $5 a month, you get ad-free episodes of all my podcasts, and you get to be in the cool guy club, the cool guys I like, and
And I really like that.
So hit us up on Patreon, ad-free episodes. It's only $5 a month, the only tier right now. Be cool. But least thing you can do, like and subscribe to the podcast, because that is where I do it. Like and follow Schweezy me on Spotify for all my music. So anytime I release anything, you get updated and notified when it drops and when it comes to ahead to the world and gets you everything you need to. So with that being said, let's get into the news. The news that the real news stations are not reporting on, only I report on. So let's get into it. I always like to start off with a good news article. Let me just start off reading here. Montana reports 0 new COVID-19 cases.
And I really like that.
Due to a system update.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Okay, let's just get straight into this. The state of Montana is reporting no additional COVID-19 cases Monday due to an update on the statewide communicable disease reporting system Sunday. The following message is from the state's coronavirus task force. The Department of Public Health and Human Services, DPHHS, performed an upgrade of the statewide communicable disease reporting system yesterday. The upgrade required the system to be shut down all day so no cases could be reported to the state for today's update. Cases will be added in the coming days as local public health departments catch up on the data entry. Oh, I forgot to say this is from KHURIURL 8. I think I may have put an extra letter in there. Total COVID-19 cases reported in Montana remain 73,303. That's the end of that article. So, I don't know how that's news. Did this news station just decide like they ran out of articles to go over or something like that? Because that's just something stupid to report to. It's like, hey, we had 0 new COVID-19 cases today because of a system update.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So this, obviously, I think it's Montana, so this is like all they have to report over. So anything like slightly interesting going on here is like news to the world. So the national, why would you make a news article about this? No, it makes sense. Hopefully that helps. And just stay inside. Don't fucking go out, people. You're making things worse than it already is. We got a vaccine. As soon as you can, take the vaccine. Don't be a bitch about it. And go ahead and get your vaccination. That way we can do it. And that way because our Christmas is going to be very sad this year for those who give a shit. And then y'all are going to have to deal with everything else. So in the meantime, let's go on to our next news article. God damn, there's so many fucking flies. I'm trying to get rid of them, but they keep popping up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Dead ass. We up out of here. Woo! Okay. Next article. Piers Morgan says, I am not the bag lady in Home Alone 2. This is from the AV Club. Let me put a picture up right here of the bag lady from Home Alone 2. Make sure I remember to edit this in. But here we go. Right here. You can still see it. It should still be up. Look at it. Look at the similarities between the two. It's pretty amazing. Go away now. Professional pigeon person Piers Morgan swears he is a lot of things. Stalwart protector of modern masculinity, concerned razor purchaser, mathematician, but there is one thing he feels the need to convince a skeptical public that he is most certainly not. I am not the bag lady in Home Alone 2, Piers Morgan desperately vowed yesterday on Good Morning Britain, his wide grin hiding the deep well of shame and resentment radiating through our computer screens from every fiber of his being. You are the pigeon lady in Home Alone 2. Your character helps save Kevin when he is concerned in the park by the wet bandits, co-host Susanna Reed clarified. It's not my character. I've nothing to do with it, Morgan pleaded to the audience of millions before Reed cuts it with the simple, elegant statement of truth. It is. It is, Morgan, of course, could only counter with a chasm silence because he knows the truth as well as anyone. The publicity televised intervention came after Morgan took to social media the day before begging us to look the other way and ignore the basic fact of reality. This is too funny. Now I can't unsee it or think it. Someone tweeted after being presented with the evidence, I need you to urgently, Morgan captioned in his retweet, betraying a guilty, scarred conscience. And yet, even his own show's director couldn't enable Morgan any longer. He is concerned, and he knows we are all well aware by now Piers Morgan is a professional pigeon person. The words of his co-host echoing in his ears. Everywhere you go, you attract the pigeons. Everywhere you go, Piers. All right, so first thought, that's the same person. We've all seen the picture. It's the same person. Second of all, like, Piers Morgan is such a shitty person. Like, I don't even know how he has a career, to be honest. Like, his interviewing style is so terrible. I watched Piers Morgan interviews like murderers or something like that. He goes to like prisons and like talks to these people. And to me, the way you interview people is, because I have an interview show too, the Schweezy. But the way you interview people, to me, is you get them comfortable. You just let them know they're safe with you and they're comfortable with you, and going forward they can confide in you, in who you are, and so they can tell you anything and feel comfortable with telling you these things. That's kind of what you do. Piers Morgan does not do that. Piers Morgan just automatically goes for like the questions, like, so people who are like very much deny murdering someone and very much will go to the end of their deathbed saying they didn't kill someone. It's like, so why'd you kill him? I didn't kill him. No, but you did. You killed him. No, I didn't. Like, why are you going to try to do that? They're obviously in a point where they're going to say, no, I didn't kill him. So just keep talking to them, get them comfortable. And if anything comes up in regards to the murders, like, let's prove your innocence. Like, what's kind of the reason you like your alibi, why you're innocent and everything like that, and like kind of go into the reasoning, kind of like talk to me like, well, they're saying here this, and it's like, well, it's not true. It's like, well, we're gonna need a little bit more evidence. I don't know. I would say make him comfortable, but no, he is definitely a pigeon person, and 100% he is the bag lady from Home Alone 2. I'm not gonna debate with you on that. He is the bag person. If any Piers Morgan stans come out here for me, go fuck yourself is what I will say. And yeah, so I don't know why I keep having these news, because I like, what's going on here on my like computer. So nevertheless, he persisted, and I will go on with more news articles that he didn't ask for. Next one will make anyone laugh from what they see here. Let me see if I can get this fly. No, I didn't get it. Okay. No, okay. Scott Stapp to portray Frank Sinatra in upcoming Ronald Reagan biopic. And this is from Billboard, I think the website. So it's from Scott Stapp, the veteran rock artist and Creed frontman, will make his feature film debut by portraying Frank Sinatra in the upcoming biopic Reagan. Billboard can reveal exclusively. So they exclusively got the rights to reveal this. Now I don't know exclusively, but no, it's from Billboard. I'm not trying to take their shine. The project will include a scene in which Stapp will perform as Sinatra as the famed Coconut Grove, the time when Ronald Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild, and the club was a staple of old Hollywood. Reagan stars Dennis Quaid in the titular. Oh, Dennis Quaid is it in the titular role, and is planned for a 2021 release. Sinatra in performance mode was an exercise in restraint, Stapp says in a statement. He had this steely, stylish swagger, and his sheer presence commanded a room. I was excited to join the cast and blown away by the on-set attention to detail, styles, and overall production. Stapp joins a cast and also includes Penelope Ann Miller as Nancy Reagan, Mena Suvari as Reagan's first wife, Jane Wyman, Kevin Dillon and Jack Warner, and John Voight as a KGB agent who tracked Reagan for decades. Reagan reunites Quaid with director Sean McNamara, who helmed 2016 Soul Surfer, co-starring the veteran actor in this year's directed Cats and Dogs 3's Paul Unite. Wait, that came out this year? Wait, there's another Cats and Dogs movie? That's bigger news. Okay, I'm not moving on. We are honored to have Scott and Reagan, says McNamara. Scott's known for big, high-energy performances, so it was a thrill to see him shift gears to embody Sinatra's contained charisma. As the leader of Creed, Stapp has sold millions of albums and earned a Best Rock Song Grammy for the hit "What with Arms Wide Open" in 2001. His most recent solo album, The Space Between the Shadows, was released last year. So, one, I don't see Scott Stapp looking at all like Sinatra. So I want to go with that first. So weird weird choice, but I think I'm going to have to see this movie because of that in general. I hope he sings in like they don't use just like Sinatra's like vocal. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Gonna make a brand new part of it. In old New York. Look, be there tonight. Just like it's really butt rocky, but why would they pick Scott Stapp? That's the weird thing. Why is the casting director? You know what? Scott Stapp's perfect for this. I feel if I was the casting director, like Brendan Urie, he is a big Sinatra fan, and also he has like that kind of like swagger to him. And I feel like if you're gonna go like that, and then you can have him singing it because Brendan Urie, phenomenal singer, Panic at the Disco. And with that, so yeah, I feel like they miscast it, but I'm gonna have to wait to see the movie before we can really decide how good Scott Stapp is. In New York, New York, start spreading the news. I'll stop singing. But, all right, let's go on to the next article. This article actually made me think a lot about Micah.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
So, it could be Micah. I don't know where he was. Ex Bin Laden henchman freed from New Jersey prison after judge deemed him too fat for jail.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
This is from KADN Fox 15. All right. Let's see what this one's all about. A former Osama bin Laden henchman convicted in 2 deadly 1998 bombings is free and living in the UK this week after being released early, thanks to a Manhattan federal judge who agreed terrorist was way too obese to survive coronavirus behind bars. Jesus.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
Abdel Bari, 60, has spent 21 years in a New Jersey prison for his role in the 1998 al-Qaeda bombing of 2 U.S. embassies in Africa that killed 224 people, including 12 Americans. Defendant's obesity and somewhat advanced age make COVID-19 significantly more risky to him than to the average person. U.S. District Judge Lewis A. Kaplan wrote in granting the release. Bari had been set to be freed on October 28th, but his attorney asked that he be let out sooner, citing their client's age, girth, and asthma. Ooh. Mr. Bari's continued incarceration now significantly increases his risk of infection, which could wreak disastrous outcomes. His lawyer wrote in court documents, while prosecutors didn't agree that Bari's age made him more at risk to catch COVID-19, they did concede his body mass index of 36 did. The defendant's obesity is an extraordinary and compelling reason that could justify a reduction of his sentence in light of the current pandemic, they wrote. The 230-pound terrorist was freed from prison October 9th and from an immigration and customs enforcement facility on Wednesday when he was handed over to UK officials. Bari's, whose son, British rapper... God damn it, British rap. Oh, that's even worse. Let's just take the son in his place. Abdel Bari is an Islamist militant, was reunited with his wife, Raga, who lives in a 1 million plus apartment in London. What the hell? Britain's Sun newspaper reported. That's weird. His return to the UK couldn't be blocked because he was granted asylum there in 1997 before being arrested in 1999 and extradited to the US to stand trial in 2012. He had been sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2015, but received credit for the years he spent behind bars in Britain while fighting extradition. Officials couldn't send him back to his native Egypt after his release because he could be at risk of death or torture. It's unreported. His return remains a huge headache for the UK Home Secretary. UK Home Secretary equivalent to the U.S. Secretary of State. She is intent on ridding the country of threats, but there's a notorious terrorist dumped right on her doorstep, a source told The Sun. Bari's immigration lawyer told the New York Times last month, after all this time, all Mr. Bari wants to enjoy a quiet life with his family. Edith Bartley, whose younger brother was among the victims, ripped the release. Just serving a sentence doesn't mean that a person has been rehabilitated, doesn't mean that their core thinking has changed, she told The Times. This is a person who can still do harm in the world. Okay, let me see here. Got one of the flies. Okay. So, thinking here, that's quite a predicament they've gotten themselves in. I don't know how they would handle it, but all I can know is if you're fat or if you're getting sent to prison and need to find an easy way out, have you tried just gaining a ton of weight? That's actually pretty funny. How do you gain so much weight in prison? Isn't like exercise half the things you do there or something like that? I don't know. Who knows anything about prisons? But if you get sent to prison, just get fat.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
And that's the way it is. Yeah. All right. All right. So how many more articles do I have? I got 2 more articles coming up in May.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Democratic lawmaker says he owes Hammers apology after Hammers, specifically Hammers, an apology after calling Betsy DeVos dumb as a bag of hammers. This is from The Hill. Republicans hold slight edge in Georgia Senate runoffs poll. Representative Jared Huffman, a Democrat from California, took aim at Education Secretary Betsy DeVos on Thursday, humorously apologizing to Hammers in a tweet for once saying DeVos was dumb as a bag of hammers. I once took heat for calling Betsy DeVos dumb as a bag of hammers, but after her 4 years as our education secretary, I now realize an apology is owed to hammers, wrote Huffman. In 2018, Huffman referred to DeVos as rich, white, and dumber than a bag of hammers after a 60-minute interview in which she appeared to struggle to answer questions posed by interviewer Leslie Stahl on the state of education in her home state of Michigan. Representative Jared Huffman, obviously Democrat in California, took aim at Education Secretary Betsy DeVos on Thursday, humorously apologizing to Hammers in a tweet for once saying DeVos was dumb as a bag of hammers. I once took heat for calling Betsy DeVos dumb as a bag of hammers, but after her 4 years as our education secretary, I now realize an apology is owed to Hammers, wrote Huffman. In 2018, Huffman referred to DeVos as rich, white, and am I rereading this? Huffman okay, let me just kind of move forward, yada, yada, yada. I think something happened. With his tweet, Huffman shared a link to a Politico piece detailing how DeVos allegedly told Department of Education's employees to be the resistance once President-elect Joe Biden assumes office on January 20th. Let me leave you with this plea. Resist, DeVos said during a meeting to discuss the upcoming transition. Be the resistance against forces that will derail you from doing what's right for students and everything you do. Please put students first. Always, you didn't put students first, you bitch. Politico notes that DeVos has had somewhat combative relationship with career department employees. Once saying of the education department, this building has caused more problems than it solved. DeVos has been a controversial education secretary pick since before she assumed the position, largely due to her lack of experience in education before joining the Trump administration. She had been a major donor to Republican campaigns. In October, a U.S. district judge excoriated DeVos for failing to properly address 160,000 student loan forgiveness claims, calling her process disturbingly Kafkaesque. Okay, that makes the judge stupider. Under DeVos instruction, 95% of applications were denied, with most applicants rejected without proper explanation. Reports came out on Thursday with 2 candidates have emerged as the top contenders to be Biden's education secretary: Leslie T. Fenwick, Dean Emeritus of the Howard University School of Education, and Miguel Cardona, Connecticut Commissioner of Education. So thank God Betsy DeVos is out. Just think of all the cabinet members. That was a big thing when I was telling people, you got to vote for Biden. He wasn't my first choice for a Democrat candidate, obviously, but just think he seems to surround himself with smart people, and just think of the cabinet members he's going to choose, because the cabinet members may be more important than the president itself moving forward, because there's just so much that goes into the cabinet. So, thank God Betsy DeVos is out, or as I like to call Professor Umbridge, or Dolores Umbridge. She is now gone, and hopefully we can sink more of her yachts in the meantime. So, in the meantime, let's keep going into...
And I really like that.
So,
let's get physical playing music. I like that thought.
All right, yeah. So that's what we have to say there. Last article I have for the day, is one should be pretty quick. McDonald's opens barbershop, offers 90s-inspired Golden M haircut in the New York Post. The 90s are back. Psych. Another burp here. But the hairstyles from the 90s appear to be or at least they are in Sweden, where McDonald's has opened a barbershop to revitalize one specific look. An iconic 90s hairdo for men, which involves a center part, the face framing bangs, and was once rocked by celebrities including David Beckham and Leonardo DiCaprio, among the other 90s era heartthrobs, is making a comeback via the marketing team at McDonald's in Sweden. Why would McDonald's Sweden care, you ask? Because the hairstyle bears an alleged similarity to the fast food chain signature golden arches. McDonald's Sweden has opened up the world's first Golden M barbershop in Stockholm, which specializes in helping people trim the Golden M hairstyle. When we realized that people were wearing our golden arches, we had to act, said Stefan Ekström, the marketing director at McDonald's Sweden. We started the M barbershop not only to guard our golden M, but also to claim it once and for all. The salon is a celebration dedicated to our beloved ambassadors, a helping hand to guide them on how to keep their M's in perfect trim, even when we can't move around as freely as we usually can. Within 2 hours of the digital launch, all salon appointments with influencer hairstyle Adam Lukacs were fully booked and press release shared. Those who attended the virtual sessions were treated to haircut lessons in digital styling. Those who have since gotten golden M dues can also trade in their hair and possibly dignity for a free Big Mac via the chain's Golden M Detector digital app. All right. The big question is why? And yeah, why is the big question here? Yeah, that's all I got to say on this. All I got to say is why. Tell me why. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by Gamefly. Most of you are already aware of Gamefly, but for those of you who don't, it's the best video game rental subscription service for one low monthly fee. As a Twitch video game streamer myself, I know there are two types of game. One type is the game that you'll continue to go back to time and time again, like Breath of the Wild and Super Smash Bros. And then there's those other games, that you only play once and then never pick up again. And that is where Gamefly is perfect. Most games come in at around $60. And these new AAA titles come in at $60. But with this link in the description of this episode, your first 2 months will only be $10. I'm a subscriber myself, and I played through Pokemon Sword, and I loved it so much that I wanted to keep that copy. And with just a click of a button, and you just pay the little extra money, you get to keep the game that you rented from Gamefly. You don't even have to worry about anything else, and they'll go ahead and send you to the next game. I'm excited for the month of October. I will be getting into Luigi's Mansion because that is a very spooky game, and that's Halloween, so it's the spooky season, which I am super excited to play that game. I already got it in the mail, and I'm excited for once October kind of rolls around, I can start playing that game, and it is super fun and awesome. I love Gamefly. Like I said, I'm a subscriber myself, but you can get your first 2 months for $10. You just got to use the link in the description of this episode, and you know what? Start playing those games. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. They also have a fantastic clothing line so you can look good while you work out as well, which I always like to look good working out. Hashtag pray for Micah. We all know the drill. With your purchase of any product from the FNX Fitness website, they even donate a gallon of water to a child in need, so you know that each purchase you make really is helping someone out. Using promo code SCHWEGCAST or link in the description of this episode, you can save 15% off your order. Again, that is promo code SCHWEGCAST or link in the description down below. Save 15% on some great performance supplements. Okay, so I'm still rocking my Grinch Christmas sweater, the only one I do own. But I also want to show you here, I remember my brother gave me like a huge pack of like elf themed socks for Christmas last year. And so I decided to wear this pair. Let me see if I can like properly get it up here. So you got Buddy the Elf on here, and then has all the ingredients for the elf food group, so can't even show it very well. And I'm wearing the sock, so it's like syrup, candy canes, candy corn, and candy all there on the sock, so it's just pretty cool. Good thing I have no excuse to ever wear any of this unless I'm doing this show. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But no, I'm still feeling pretty festive, even though it's gonna be a lonely Christmas this year. But I'll zoom in with everyone, so it's not like lonely, but I'll be physically not around other people because I take things seriously, and you should too. Speaking of that, I don't know how to transition here. So I played myself yesterday.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So big thing happened here. So I watched the recent H3 podcast, the last two of them, the Frenemies, one with Trisha Paytas, and then the one with the full team. And they all took the NPI, the Narcissist Personality Test, created by Dr. Drew Pinsky and Dr. Joe Young. And I was thinking, God damn it, why do the only flies only come here? I was like, on the break, I was like, getting here. I'm so sick of these fucking flies. Okay, that made me look stupid. But no, they had a test there to see how narcissist you are. And I was like, hey, I'll take it. And stuff like that. And then, so it's out of 40. Most people are around 15, like a little bit more, a little bit less, around 15. 15 is like the average for what a normal person is. So I took it, and I don't think I'm a narcissist. But I got a 28 out of 40, which is fairly high. It's not like I'm a full-blown narcissist, but I'm up there, apparently. Apparently, believing that you will be successful one day is apparently a narcissistic tendency I didn't know about, but apparently it is. And so the real way I played myself...
let's get physical playing
Congratulations,
music. I like
you played yourself.
I need to fix that. But the real way I played myself is that I had all my friends do it too, or at least a couple of them. I didn't get all my friends. I had a couple of my friends do this. And so I got, like I said, I got 28 out of 40. Average for a normal person is 15. And I was thinking Micah may be around the same time. No, Micah got 12. The bitch got 12. And I think he would have scored higher, but he doesn't care much about wanting to be the leader in things. I like to be the leader because I know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, Micah got 12. Cricket or Josh Casey, that bitch, he scored like a 6. Like, do you have self-esteem, bro? Steve is a 11. TJ is a 7. Come on, TJ. Jordan is a 15. And TJ's girlfriend, Sarah, with no H, is 11. So, and Austin Doyle, he is a 10. So, folks, it turns out I am up there, almost a narcissist, but apparently not really. I just I think more about myself than I should. And hopefully it doesn't ruin things for me, but I really did play myself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So, I really played myself. I don't have the link here, but I just want to do Dr. Drew Pinsky and Dr. Joe Young's narcissist test. Just Google Dr. Drew or Dr. Young's narcissist test, NPI test. You can find it online. It's free. But no, it's actually by doctors, so they actually know what the fuck's going on. And I played myself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So yeah, the big things I did get scored on, it looks like, you see what I put, self-sufficiency, exhibitionism, exploitativism, vanity, and entitlement are a medium, but authority and exhibitionism is high. So let me Google exhibitionism because I don't know what that is. So just take a look at that real quick. Exhibitionism, extravagant behavior that is intended to attract attention to oneself. Oh yeah, I have a big attention problem. That's also big. And I think that goes from me being a child, being the least favorite child for a while. And so I think there's something like that, like always wanting attention is, pardon me, but I'm very aware. I like being the leader in situations, and and I guess I like having attention my way. I think it's just, there's probably something I need to do with a therapist And everything else is a medium, though. So I bet if I scored medium on that, I'd be like lower numbered. But yeah, I think there's a big reason here. Yeah, attention is something I like. Like I said, I'm Tinkerbell, so if you don't give me attention, I die. And yeah, so folks, yeah, everyone do an NPI test. Tell me what number you got and make my life feel a lot worse. And after you do, go fuck yourself because fuck you. So yeah, okay. Next thing I want to talk about, I've been obsessed with this video. So let me go ahead and start it now. I want to watch it with you guys. It's now playing. So look, the woman on the right has the sexless marriage haircut.
The renewed mind is the key to the power that we need. The world is gonna see that it's Christ in me. The renewed mind is the key to the power that we need. It's the only
Woman on the left has the boring mom style.
God has clothed us with his righteousness and power. And we live for him and our daytime and hour. We can stand upon the greatness of his word and proclaim the truth. We're gonna make it heard. We've got all the potential power God could ever give. Now we stand up on our legal rights and boldly make them live. The renewed mind is the key to the power that we need.
Jesus.
The world is gonna see that it's Christ in me.
Why can I not stop watching this?
The renewed mind is the key to the power that we need. It's the only way to be strong in victory. We can claim the rights that God gave you and me.
Why are they trying to be sexy while doing this?
All principality. As we move with God, his power lies within, giving us the strength to conquer and to win. We've got all the enablements his love and grace provides. Now we put that truth within our hearts and walk with all God.
This is my favorite part. Oh yeah. Break it down, boy.
The renewed mind is the key to Christ. The renewed mind is the key to the Christ in me. The renewed mind is the key to the Christ in me. We know that the renewed mind is the key to the power that we need. The world is gonna see that it's Christ in me. We know that the renewed mind is the key to the power that we need. It's the only way to be strong in victory. The renewed mind is the key to the Christ in me.
I've watched this too much. Key to the Christ in me. The new mind is the key to the Christ in me. God, what a way to end it. Oh man, so I watched that way too many times, and the best way is how I found it is a black friend on Facebook. It was just like, what the fuck, white people, and that was the best part of it all. Is just how I found it. If you didn't notice, like the woman on the right, she had that sexless marriage haircut, and the best thing is, so this comes from, and I had my friend Chris and my friend Nathan, who are both ex-evangelicals like me, and I think I posted it to another friend, a mutual friend's Facebook, and I'm like, this is Chris's dance moves right here, and then Chris is like, oh, I know the entire backstory on this. I'm like, please go on. And so I did a deep dive into this, which is not good. When I do a deep dive into a weird video, it's not good. Like,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
like when I do that, it's very bad, or
This is the type of guy you get.
like it's bad when I have to do a deep dive into something like that. So it's just a lot of things. Like the woman on the right, she has the sexless marriage haircut, which is funny because they said this is like indeed a cult. But what they would do is encourage their female members to actually go out and try to seduce men into joining the cult, which I feel is pretty cool. But I don't know how much sex is going on there, which that's the determining factor of the kind of cult I would join is like, how much sex am I personally going to get? Because apparently I'm a high narcissist level 28 narcissist. But it's very interesting. I think what's making me obsessed with the video is that it's making Jesus, it's trying to be sexy, but also like minister at the same time, which I can't do. Like the suit is weird. The dresses they're wearing is weird. That's like a bridesmaid dress that they're wearing. And most of the time bridesmaid dresses are not sexy. And the purpose of them not being sexy is because they don't want to outshine the bride. And that makes a lot of sense. So that's the reason behind that. But I am obsessed with that video. If anyone else is obsessed with that video, please write to me. And if you know anything else, about any good stories about the Way Ministries, please, please, please get to me. Because the new man is the key to the Christ in me. The new man is the key. His like breakdown dancing is cool too. I don't know. I'm obsessed with that video. And I have to know everything about it. To be honest with you folks, I got to know everything about that. The next thing I have, we're continuing our movie review of Christmas movies. This is going to be the last one for the month on Rankin Bass Christmas films, actually. Yes, so next week I will be doing It's a Wonderful Life. Typically a traditional watch with my family review. Of course, COVID's not letting me see my family, so I'll have to watch it on my own. And like, I usually don't. I'm not a big fan of that movie. I just think I've just seen it too many times. But I'm going to watch it in color this year because I can. So yeah, but this week I wanting to review Santa Claus Coming to Town, Rankin Bass feature film. It's the origin story of Santa. This one's actually very wholesome. This is a very wholesome movie. So it's actually really hard to nitpick this movie, but I am. So fuck you. So the movie starts off with just being bombarded by questions from children. You know how like children just ask so many fucking questions, and they just will not shut up. And they're like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And you're like, Jesus Christ. And you have to answer the questions because the kid's like learning like the world around them, like how's everything going on, stuff like that. So like they're like, you gotta like answer all their questions, and it's just fucking annoying. So you know, mailman Fred Astaire, he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna tell you the whole they're just like bombarding them with questions about Santa. So he starts off, I'm like, I'm just gonna tell you fucking everything about Santa. Here's the whole fucking story. That way you can shut up. So Fred Astaire just snaps and just, I'm like, here's the whole fucking story about Santa. It starts off with a orphaned baby. A mother dropped off a baby at the mayor's office, not an orphanage, but the mayor's office. And that's where we get to meet Mayor Burgermeister Meisterburger, who's just like, fuck babies. I don't want a fucking baby. Why would someone leave a fucking baby here? So he tells his gay assistant, and don't worry, his gay assistant's the only gay character in this movie. We're not going to go into that, but yeah, he is gay. He's like, hey, take this kid to an orphanage, because I'm glad the mother is not keeping the kid, because she's obviously way too fucking stupid to be raising this child on her own. So it was like, take this kid to an orphanage where he belongs. So his gay assistant's like, okay. So he's like pulling the baby on a sled instead of just like carrying it, you know, because I feel like pushing the sleigh is going to be a little bit harder unless like, I mean, if you had like a stroller, that'd be the most optional thing to do. It's like, hey, look, I can take my kid somewhere and not die. So obviously best option. But no, they, on the way to the orphanage, the gay assistant loses the baby, the one job he had. Oh no, the baby's gone. And then he's like, you know what? Let's hope this works out. And luckily it did. He didn't die from the Winter Warlock. He obviously made it to the Kringle's Lodge house home. Luckily, they find him on the doorstep. Somehow they've flown to the house of the Kringle home. And they're like, oh, we'll take him in because we need more people to work here. So they just take him in. They find him with a necklace that says Claus on it. And they're like, that's a stupid fucking name. We're going to call you Chris. So it's just, it's like, should we give him this name? No, let's just call him Chris. That sounds like a better name than fucking Claus. So they're like, all right, we're going to call you Claus. So they're growing up. They're like, yeah, we're toy makers. Kid Chris, sorry. It's like, hey, why are we just building all these toys for no fucking reason? Well, we typically like to deliver them to children, but the Winter Warlock will not allow us to do that because he's a dick. No other reason other than the fact that he is a dick. And so we can't do it. And then they're all like puny, and then there's like 10 elves and then like an old woman. So like they're like, we can't deliver this. We're a woman and a bunch of elves. And they're like, maybe one day when I get older, I can and become a beefcake, I can go ahead and deliver all these presents to that Nazi town that we live near. So eventually, after singing a song, Chris gets older, becomes a clean shaven hunk. Like he is a clean shaven hunk. He's like a baby face, but he's also a hunk. Very weird. Very weird for me to do. But he's like, all right, I'm old enough now. I can fight off anything. I am going to make my way to town. Making my way to Nazi town, walking fast. Winter Warlock's gonna kill me. So he eventually makes his way past Winter Warlock. He meets Hopper, his tusty penguin. Coolest character. I love penguins. Favorite animal. Always have been, always will be. And they make it to Naziville. Where Burgermeister made toys illegal for some reason. I think he's constipated. The theory I'm going with is he's constipated because he kind of acts like how I've acted when I've been constipated. You're just like, you got all this shit inside your colon that you can't get out, and you're just like, like just the slightest thing annoys you. So I think he's constipated, and he's also fat, so it could just be because he's fat and he doesn't like himself.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
So he eventually makes his way. He starts giving kids toys, and then our kids are happy. And then the hot teacher, Jessica, comes out. It's like, what's going on? You know, toys are illegal. And he gives her like a doll, and she's like, oh, okay, we can keep it. But she's like, but Burgermeister doesn't like toys. He made toys illegal. And Chris is just like, fuck him. I can give him a toy if he wants to, just fuck him. And so also, here's the weird part of the movie. He sings a song about giving kids presents and having them don't be stingy.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
So that was weird and also hilarious. I lost it when I got to that point in the film. But eventually, after they're singing and not moving, Burgermeister catches up with him. And he's like, hey, toys are illegal. Stop doing that. And he's like, fuck you. And then he's like, oh, here, have a yo-yo. And he's like, oh, I love yo-yos, until he's playing with his yo-yo. And his gal's like, he's escaping, sire. And Chris escapes after distracting Burgermeister with a yo-yo. So that's this. This
This is the type of guy you get.
That's the type of guy you got in regards to this. But now after he escapes, he gets caught by the Winter Warlock. As you know, the Winter Warlock is a dick. And why is he a dick? Nobody knows. They never explain it in this fucking movie. So he gets captured by his magical trees. But Chris is like, hey, man, how about I'll give you this toy and you let us go? And Winter Warlock's like, oh, a toy? I love toys. Fuck it, I'm not going to be a dick anymore. And so he's no longer a dick for some reason. And like the ice over his skin melts. It could be a reason why he's a dick. And then he's like, it's like, I don't know how to be good. And he's like, it's just like one step at a time. Put one foot in front of the other. It's like he's like teaching them. It's like a song about teaching someone how to walk. This is like, which I get the sentiment. It's like, being good, you just got to take every day one step at a time, just one step at a time. Put one foot in front of. That is the catchiest song in the movie. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. That is one of the best fun songs. So they make an alliance after that. Obviously he's like, you bring the Warlock toys, he'll give you magic. One of the specific one he like brings up first is like, hey, look, just make a snowball and you can watch anyone at any time. But I know you're going to specifically use it for kids to watch them sleeping. So he's gone full Edward Cullen. He's about to watch kids while they sleep. He's like, he sees you when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake. And, if you're doing bad, good for goodness sake. So, that's fucking creepy, Santa. What the fuck's going on there? But nevertheless, he persisted, and so he can deliver presents. So coming all these. Kris Kringle tells all the kids, "Hey, leave your doors unlocked overnight, so I can leave presents for you." after, we learn he gets a magic snowball where he can watch kids sleeping. So that's cool. That's some cool shit right there. Hey, kids, leave your doors unlocked while you sleep so I can deliver you presents. Yeah, okay. Yeah, come on, kids, leave your door open so I can deliver you presents.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
Leave your door open, don't be stingy. So, the next day, Burgermeister sees all the kids with toys and is still constipated and being a dick. So now he's the only person in the movie being a dick besides the Winter Warlock. But it could be because he's fat and has some health problems from being fat.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
So that's also a good reason. They never explain in the movie, so anyone's predictions can be good. If you have a theory, try to back up the theory, but I'm most likely thinking it's constipation because he's fat. And I do see he eats a lot of meat, which is what I do. He should be skinnier if he's lower in the carbs, but no, he is fat, and he's eating a lot of non-fiber foods, which will make him constipated. So he is constipated, and that's the movie. So they're like, okay, we gotta fucking stop this. After he's like keeps tricking them, like putting toys in stockings, going down chimneys. He keeps outsmarting Burgermeister Nazi Burger, and so they're like, all right, we're gonna plan a setup, and we're gonna catch him. So they set up a trap, and they eventually capture Chris. And he's like, we captured him. He's like, you can't catch me. And Chris is like, I can escape this. But they're about to kill Hopper. They're like, if you don't come with us, we're going to kill the fucking penguin. And so he's like, all right, you got me. Because he's not a dick. It's just a movie. It's like, who's the dick and who is not a dick? And then Jessica's like, they're gonna capture Chris, and Winter Warlock's like, I can't do magic anymore. It's like, and that's not explained either. He's like, I can't do anything anymore. I'm sorry. All I have left is some after they all get captured, and then eventually Winter Warlock gets sent to prison. He's like, all I got left is like some candles, some magic cards, and some corn that makes reindeer fly. Jessica's like, I could use that. So she takes the corn and then feeds it some reindeer, and then they learn how to fly, and they break them out of prison. No way how they got out of the prison cell. That was not explained in the movie. That's the big plot hole. Like, how the hell did they escape from prison? They really didn't. Jessica was able to break them out and then get on the reindeer, fly away. So after they escape, Kris Kringle is a wanted fugitive from the law of this one specific town. So what does he do? He decides to grow a beard first, and so he's unrecognizable. And then he's like, I got to change my name. And his mom's like, well, you're found with this necklace that said Claus, but we thought that was kind of stupid, so we didn't fucking name you that. We just gave you the name Chris. And he's like, I guess I'll go by that for my last name. First name, I'll go by Santa. How he came up with Santa? I don't know. I can't figure that out. But now he's Santa Claus. Or Klaus. No, it's Claus. And so, yeah, it's like, that's stupid. Let's just make it my last name. So, yep, eventually, time moves on. They settle kind of where I guess the North Pole is. Him and Jessica get married and also get really fat. So that's how you know they were happy for a little bit. They got really fat. And like I said, since all of the Rankin Bass movies are supposed to be connected, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this one would be like Captain America, the first Avenger of the Rankin Bass universe. But yeah, him and Mrs. Claus got super fat and eventually had a sexless marriage. As we tell by the last one, when he starts calling her Ma. Because anyone who calls their wife Ma or mother has a sexless marriage, or they have a haircut like the lady in the Renew Mine is the Key videos. So Santa, in all his fatness, decides that he can't keep up doing multiple deliveries all the time, and decides to only do it once a year because he can. And besides, Christmas is the perfect opportunity to do that. Thus ending the origin story of Santa and all his misdeeds. And then Fred Astaire finishes the story. We go back to Fred Astaire, and he's like, now shut the fuck up or Santa's going to put you on the naughty list. So shut the fuck up. Never ask me a single fucking question about Santa ever again, or I will kill your family. And the movie ends with that. So, thoughts on the movie. This is a great, I think is one of the best of all the Rankin Bass movies. Like I said, Rudolph had no story, no real moral to the story. It's just like, hey, if people make fun of you, still help them anyways because you're weak and they're not. So yeah, so I didn't like Rudolph. So Rudolph, I just have a lot of I like actual Rudolph himself. I wish I did. Just interesting character, you know, glowing red nose. I always liked it as a kid. There's an ornament I always liked playing with. I think I had a Rudolph toy at one point, so I always liked Rudolph. With A Year Without Santa Claus, it's just kind of the stories like even Santa can have an existential crisis and not feel loved. So that's the story about that, which is a very good story. Like, you know, Christmas cheer is not dead, and Christmas will stay alive in all our hearts. But this movie I really like because being kind and giving and being a good person can spread to other people and bring joy to other people. And it's kind of like the movie Klaus I watch is like one good deed spreads to another, you know, stuff like that. I can't remember the full quote, but Klaus, you watch Klaus on Netflix. It's not stupid enough for me to review on this show, but no, Klaus is a very good movie. It's on Netflix. It should be part of your Christmas traditional movies to watch, but no, it's great. It's a great movie. But as far as that, no, but this movie's good. Like the kindness, like Santa, how good of a person Santa is. It's a really good movie to realize how great Santa is and like how, like, you know, like he's like, here's a toy. You know what? No one's probably ever done this for you, but yeah, here's a gift. And he's like, a gift? Oh man, thank you. So overall, this movie is great. It's very wholesome. A great movie to show your kids about a good person Santa is, and you can become a good person too. And
I really like that.
As Garth would say. So that's my thoughts on A Year Without a Santa Claus. Not A Year Without a Santa Claus. My thoughts on Santa Claus coming to town. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. All right. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by Duke Cannon Supply Company's Beer and Bourbon Box. Duke Cannon hails from a simpler time, a time when the term handyman was redundant, a time when chivalry wasn't considered old-fashioned. Duke Cannon's purpose is simple, to make superior quality grooming goods that meet the high standards of hard-working men. In the history of great duos, the partnership of beer and bourbon is even more important to our way of life than mac and cheese or, if you're British, fish and chips. Comes complete with 3 big beer soaps, a deliciously scented sandalwood soap made with Old Milwaukee beer, a fresh citrus woodsy offering made with the Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA, and a warm cedar scent made with Budweiser, and 1 big American bourbon soap. And a rich oak barrel scented bar made with Buffalo Trace bourbon. A perfect gift for the gentleman who appreciates a fine drink and a distinguished fragrance. Use the link in our description to get free shipping on your order over $20. This episode of the Schwegcast is brought to you by Honey. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in the description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo codes, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It is 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with any microtransactions. It's just as simple as pressing a single button, and you can start saving money. It's that simple. I use Honey myself. I've been using it for years, and it's a great way to save money on pizza. It's a great way for me to buy audio equipment online. It always saves me money. I've gotten 40%. I've gotten 50% even before. It is so great. I love Honey, and you will too. And if you don't use Honey, it's basically throwing money away. So use the link in the description of this episode. Install it on your web browser, whether that's Chrome, Safari, Opera, whatever it's called, and start saving money on things you buy every day anyways. Okay, so it is now time for me to go over your relationship problems and fix your relationship problems and fix you and be like... Simp. I, the simp, will be like... That's rough, buddy. For you and guide you in the direction that is perfect for you. Let's get started here. A girlfriend wants me to propose by March or she's leaving. Hoping you can help me out here. I get along great with my girl. We knew each other other for years, but lost touch. She lived on the other side of the country and decided to move in right after we reconnected. She's been living with me for 2 years since we've been dating. Things are honestly great for the most part. We have a strong bond and plenty of inside jokes. The only thing I'm unhappy with is we have sex maybe once a week, and it's usually vanilla. I have a high sex drive and consider myself very open and kinky. For the past year, she's been begging me to get engaged. I come from a broken family where my parents did not love each other and ended up in a nasty divorce. I'm not ready to be engaged at this time, but I don't want her to leave. We've tried many mature conversations about this where we both lay out what we want in a calm way, but there seems to be no way to get over this. She wants to be engaged so badly. She's willing to leave and move back across the country. I appreciate your help. This has been tearing me apart. Okay. So, I hate to say this. You have to decide, like, you really are going to have to decide, do I want to be engaged? And it sounds like she may be prioritizing getting engaged over you, I want to say. Especially if the big thing here, first of all,
that's rough, buddy.
But if one person in a relationship has to make an ultimatum to like get you to do something, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Unless you guys can work it out and you think you can be engaged and get married to this person, it's not gonna work out, bud. Best thing to do, be gone, fuck! And tell her to be gone. But yeah, you may have to do that. I mean, it sounds like you've had this conversation, but this is like a deal breaker for her. But so it sounds like you basically, I would say if you've been living together for a long time, at some point you're like basically married. Like I know people who have been like living with their significant other, or they call them the partners, which sounds like a same-sex couple. I remember one time someone's like, yeah, me and my partner do that. He's a gay man. And I was like, you can just say your boyfriend or husband or whatever. I'm like, I don't care. But no, it was more in regards to their, because it sounds better than my boyfriend or something like that. But no, I think if you realize that if that's a deal breaker for her, it might not be worth dating her anymore. And I know it's hard sometimes when you like it, but it sounds like her pussy isn't as good as you want it to be. And so get your penis touched by a woman who's as kinky as you are, my friend, and tell her, be gone, fuck! Because all she wants is that ring. Just tell her to fuck off. Anyways, next question I got. My wife won't sleep with me. What should I do? My wife and I have been married for a year and 10 months. We have never had sex. When she's asked, I've been honest and admitted to her that I have had sexual partners in the past. It bothers her greatly. She says she loves me but fears the pain of losing her virginity and will offer an alternative in oral once a month. Ugh. She seems to love me in every way imaginable except the physical. I do believe her love is genuine and I do love her as well, but it's unbearable. Okay, first of all, I did make that groan and it was not for the oral sex. Oral sex is great. I groaned at the once a month part. I feel I have made clear to her how much this affects me emotionally and psychologically. I need to have a sexual partner. I don't know what to do as I don't want her to leave, but I can't be in this without sex. My Christian upbringing tells me this means I'm seeking lust, but if I'm honest with myself, I just can't do this potentially forever. We have talked about having children. I don't want trying to conceive to feel like a rote and loveless task. We had discussed sex at length throughout our 3-year courtship. She always maintained that after marriage, we would have a robust sex life. Once married, she has consistently evaded the topic or shut it down by claiming it will hurt too much physically. I feel like I have been lied to and duped. I once gently suggested marriage counseling, and she bristled hard, stating that she didn't have a problem. Her physicians had told her sex would be a good for her hormonally, but this hasn't had any effects. Okay, I read that right. She has perhaps jokingly suggested I keep a mistress before, but I'm not a 2-woman kind of man, and I estimate that trying to be would just lead to pain all around. So I think divorce is the only solution that fits. Yeah, you're right. Divorce is the only thing that fits. You have a sexless marriage. To each their own. Feel free if you want to wait till marriage, do that. I have no judgment. But I think it's a bad idea because you could discover you're asexual. I think she's discovered that she's asexual. If she just like the idea of not wanting sex, and it's like, it's going to hurt. I'm like, you got to break the hymen eventually. Your hymen could already be broken. I don't know. Sometimes you just get on a mopey car ride and it breaks. I don't know. A doctor told me that once. Or people were like, oh no, what I learned it from was like toxic Christianity where like, you know, you wanted your wife to be a virgin and then you fuck them on their wedding night and their hymen doesn't break. And it's like, you had sex, you whore, which is a bad thing. She either needs to suck it up. Like, this is bad. Like she said, we're about sex life. So she tricked you into getting married to her and then never has sex with you. Like this woman's toxic. So best suggestion here, pressing it here.
Be gone, sucks!
And tell her to fuck off and get a divorce. And then people ask, so what happened to the divorce? Well, she wouldn't have sex with me. And people think, oh, that's pretty selfish. But yeah, you're married. And when you're married, you should be having sex. And if you're not having sex, especially if you're with someone and you're not having sex, that's a problem. Sounds like she's asexual. And like I say, asexual people can be the shittiest people on planet Earth. They will go into relationships for their own personal gain and are shitty human beings for that. If you're an asexual person and you only date, because if you're asexual, you should only date other asexual people. That is 100% the only way. So if you're an asexual person and you date non-asexual people, you are a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit unless you suck it up and have sex with them anyways. But no, if you're asexual and have normal relationships, you are a piece of shit. And you are a piece of shit. Sound like this woman's asexual. Sounds like you should get a divorce. If she's not going to put out, you're going to need to get a divorce. That's just 100%. I mean, it's long enough. You've been married almost 2 years. You got to have sex. And at this point, it doesn't sound like she wants to have sex with you. Honestly, I feel like divorce is going to be the best thing. So tell her to fuck off.
Be gone, sucks!
And if she questions my judgment, I can always say,
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
as TJ's girlfriend would say. Yep, I'll just tell her to fuck off and be gone. Because it sounds like she doesn't want to do marriage counseling. Because honestly, marriage counseling might be it. And she might figure out she's asexual. And she's like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. So, yeah, man. Get that divorce going here. This is like the divorce episode. The next one's a divorce too. My husband and I are getting a divorce, and one part of me is like, yes, finally. Another part of me wants to kill myself. I'm drunk at home by myself and crying one minute and laughing another. I feel simultaneously liberated and terrified. My husband and I are getting a divorce, and one part of me is yet like, yes, finally, another part of me wants to kill myself. I'm drunk at home, blah, 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 blah. Sounds like you have graduation goggles. Graduation goggles is like you're finally going to graduate high school, and like this 4 years of high school was shit. And then you realize, well, there are some good parts, and so you remember everything good about it, and then like getting ready to leave, I'm like, maybe I'm going to miss high school a lot. Nah, it's just graduation goggles. Get it off. Sounds like that person is a piece of shit. So you're like, yes, finally, like you really do not like being around this person. So, go for that divorce. You're just having that graduation goggles and you'll get over it. So, music come on. It's like, I will remember you. Will you remember me? And, that's all coming up. So that's the thing though. So you got graduation goggles, just move past it. You're going to get past it. It'll be fine. Yeah, you know, if you make a big move, you're going to miss the town you're moving to, but you know, obviously, you're going to like the new place a lot better. So, remember,
This is the type of guy you get.
that's what you kind of for this show for. All right, next one. Ex-boyfriend messaged me for nudes twice in 1 year. He's married. Should I message his wife? She literally relocated across the world for him, and he's sending me sexual messages asking for nudes. Should I tell his wife? And they're all in their 30s. They met that specific. Here's what you should do. Because obviously there's a lot of problems here. And yeah, you should obviously message his wife, but here's how I would do it. What you need to do, send like the screenshots, to his wife and asking for her permission, to see if you should be able to send him nudes. See what I did there? Ask his wife permission if it's okay for you to send nudes. Because if get her permission, then I guess you can send him nudes. If she's like, no, and then they have a fight and break it up. So that's going to be a good way to put a little poison into that little burn that you're about to give to your ex. It's fun messing with your exes. They are probably shitty people. I love it when they say that. It's like, I found someone better than you. And you can be like, are you with God now? And then someone's with your ex thinking they won the lottery.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, just, I would message the wife saying, hey, is it okay if I send your if you send your husband nudes? Just a little fun having with that. I think that's the best thing you could possibly do in that situation. All right. Next thing. I got a couple, like 3 more. Yeah, I got a lot more. Okay. So I'm not going to be like, I need to not like spend too much time on these. My girlfriend said an ex's name while I was going down on her, and now I'm feeling bad. As you should be. I feel weird about posting this here, but I feel uncomfortable sharing my current situation with anyone in my personal life. So I have been with this girl for almost 2 years. We met at school. I really love her as she is kind and smart and beautiful, and was honestly considering asking her to marry me when we graduate this spring. The problem is that about a week ago, we were doing sex stuff, and she was a little tipsy, and she moaned the name of someone else. If it had just been a random name, it wouldn't have bothered me, but she said the name of someone she had history with. Basically, before she met me, she was sleeping with this guy. She found out he was sleeping with girls besides her, and she stopped sleeping with him, but they remained friends. I have asked her about him before, and she brushed it off and basically just said that they have had fun, but it was over. They still hang out a far bit. They are neighbors, so they see each other a lot. They also text and Snapchat. She has never been secretive with her phone, and I trust that she would never cheat on me. This is not the issue here. Part of my problem is I am unused to feeling jealous. I am very secure in myself, and I know I bring out a lot to the table, but this guy is hot. It would be unreasonable to assume that she is not attracted to him because everyone is attracted to him. And I can tell that he is still attracted to her. I can see it in the way he looks at her after she said his name during the deed. I confronted her, and at first she said, no, I didn't. But then when I said she most certainly had, she said that she was sorry and it had just slipped out and I shouldn't read into it. But it's hard not to. Okay. More here. Unfortunately, I did something kind of fucked up. And she is an amazing poet, and she has her diary type thing she writes her poems in. While she had read a few to me before she has had any permission, well, I read the poems. There are quite a few about me, and I felt better after reading them because they were flattering. But then I read the poems that she was sleeping with the guy, and I really wish I hadn't. They were super erotic, and it seems like her feelings were a lot stronger than she let on. And it seems like she had a passion-filled relationship with him, while the poems about me are more about feeling safe and warm and comfortable. And it almost reads like she was settling, and the sex stuff is kinkier than the things we have done. Also, I realized that she said love 4 times in her poems about him, but not once in the poem about me. To make matters worse, there's also a recent poem about him. It's called Watching. I can tell it's about him because she describes his dark hair and blue eyes, and it fits. I am blonde. The poem is from the perspective of a girl being watched by a guy. It's usually part sexy and creepy, and the girl can feel herself being watched, and it's exciting. And she wants to turn around and meet his eyes, but she is also terrified of what will happen if she does, and if she will ever be able to look away. So in essence, I'm feeling very insecure for the first time and currently wondering if she actually loves me or settled for me. I'm honestly rethinking our whole relationship, but I don't even know how to approach the issue because I don't want to admit I read her poetry. Now every time he texts her, it bugs me. This sucks, and any advice would be appreciated. All right. So reading the title, I thought it was nothing, but then reading your story, that's rough, buddy. So, I don't know either of you, so I don't think I can read into this fully. It sounds like he was just kind of sleeping around with anyone. Because he can, because he's super attractive. So I think she actually really like wanted to Ride or Die, out now on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, wherever, obviously wherever you get your music. She obviously wants to Ride or Die with that guy. Obviously, she realized that she was never going to be able to Ride or Die with that guy, so she moved on. Or I don't know the best word to move on. So she settled for you. It sounds like she is settling for you. You are right. Sometimes your gut feelings are right. Sometimes you need a third person to tell you that, but it sounds like you're right. And it looks like she settled for you. She probably does love you, but if she had to choose between you or him, she will pick him. It sounds like she will pick him. Obviously, when you're having sex with her, she wishes it was him having sex with her. Going down on her, giving her that sloppy goodness, giving her the wop. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she would definitely pick him over you at any times. Honestly, bud, do not marry her. Do not make her your Ride or Die out now on all your streaming platforms. Best thing I can tell you to do is, ride it out. Have some fun, have sex with her. It's going to crash. It's going to crash and burn. Best thing I can tell you is to enjoy the ride down as you can. I would say just use her for sex, because it sounds like she's only using you to fill a hole that she wants him to fill. It sounds like that's the issue. It sounds like she is a thought and a bitch. I don't like her. I don't like your girlfriend. So at this point in time, it's going to have to fizzle out, but let it go out like a firework, and then after the end of the day, you can be like,
Be gone, fuck!
And she can die. She can die. God, I'm trying to kill these flies in here. I'm so fucking pissed. It's like 2 of them. I'm like, I got it. Okay. So yeah, just tell her to be gone. Obviously it's rough, buddy, but
That's rough, buddy.
But you got this, bud. I believe in you. You'll be fine. All right. Next one I got. Boyfriend chose his ex over me, and it hurts. I've been going through this breakup for a while. It started as a fight between us. I broke up with him at first because a small fight that just kept going back and forth. He told me that it was insane to break up, so I asked him for a few days to think, and then told him, of course, I wanted to work on us. The fight was silly. Obviously, people fight. It happens to everyone. A week later, he said, actually, we should break up. But this time, I was the persistent one. I told him we owed it to work on our issues since this was our 2nd month of long distance and I'd be home in a couple of weeks. We'd be together for about 7 months at this point. The next month was a lot of back and forth and hot and cold from him. Finally, the day I was to fly home, he told me all the back and forth was because of his ex and him started talking again during our fight, and he had rekindled their feelings for each other. He was going back and forth between the two of us, talking to her about me, but keeping me in the dark, and now wanted to see her again. I was devastated. I flew home. I went to see him. I promised to be better and asked him to choose me. She flew in to see him a couple of days after me, asked him to block me on everything, and this is where we are now. Through this, I learned some new details of their relationship. I thought they had been broken up since 2018 when we moved to a different state, but I didn't know he'd been pursuing her since the last breakup and finally told her he wanted to marry her or cut contact with her 3 months before he met me. She rejected him again, obviously. They were together off and on for about 4 years. This will be the 4th time reuniting. Our relationship was so intense, but also beautiful. We spent almost every day together, immediately started talking about the future. He was showing me wedding rings, telling my parents he wanted to marry me, encouraging me to quit my job in another state and move in with him. He was so thoughtful and funny and kind and never made me feel threatened that I wasn't good enough for him or that he had feelings for other women. It was one of the most intense relationships I have experienced. My head is totally spinning that it could just end like this. So what do you think is going to happen? Are they going to last? Was I some sort of weird and intense rebound? Why did he say all these things to me just to get with his ex? Also, how do I make it hurt not so damn bad? I feel like my world has been torn apart. So to numb your feelings, alcohol or marijuana are the 2 best things. I would suggest everything else is for unpleasant people. I don't I make fun of on the internet. Meth in general, if you're from the Midwest, just don't stay away from meth. So, yeah, I like drinking. Drinking's my favorite vice. So, yeah, drink your feelings. That's going to be the best thing to get over that. But, yeah, it sounds like you were the rebound. It doesn't seem like he actually did care about you. Sorry to say that. Yeah, it sounds like that guy is a dick. He was just kind of, sometimes you date sometimes, people will like immediately get into another relationship afterwards, after like a very serious one, because one, they're a bitch, and two, it's just a way to numb the pain and kind of get over that, just to distract them from that, from being in love with someone and stuff like that. But I kind of like you were the rebound. He always wanted her. Obviously, telling your parents he wants to marry you, that's just kind of you just kind of say that to make the parents like you and shit like that. And he's like, oh, this is a good guy, he really cares about you. But yeah, it doesn't, at least he didn't like physically assault you. I don't know why I came up to that. That's pretty brutal. But no, yeah, it sounds like you were the rebound. So eventually it sounds like him and that ex are pretty toxic for each other. So they're going to get back together and then probably break up again. Then he's going to come back to you. Best suggestion I give to you is to tell him,
Be gone, fuck!
and tell him to go fuck off, because he's a bad person and you deserve better, sweaty. And that's the way it is. All right, next one. I have been seeing a girl for a few months, and I think I blew it recently. We're meeting on Friday for a coffee, and I would like advice on trying to save it. So we met on Tinder a while ago, and before the lockdown forced us apart, we'd meet every week or so and had a nice time together. The thing is, messaging when we're apart has always been a bit difficult, especially because with the lockdown, there's not much to talk about. We met last week for the first time in a month, and it was fine. We both had a nice time, but I've increasingly felt that she's not interested when messaging and wanted to talk to her about it. So I called tonight, and I'm not a very smooth way. I told her how I felt a little and asked her how she felt, and she was still interested. I intended to have an open conversation about how we both felt, but she got upset because she's taken it as me not caring about our relationship because I've called and asked if she's still interested. I've not come across very well and made things worse by being unclear. I let her know that I do care about our relationship and we're going to meet for a coffee on Friday, but I think it might be to break up. Does anyone have any advice for how this clears us up and come out of this coffee chat with the relationship? The lockdown has been tough for us. When you see me regularly in person, it was nice. Do you think buying a small gift would be a cheesy or bad idea? Would you like some thoughts and ideas for anything? Obviously, if you think she's going to break up with you, don't get a gift. Just don't get a gift. We treat women too nice. You're
Simp.
like me, and you're probably going to be like, I should bring her a gift. That'd be nice. No, that's simp shit. You don't do that. You do that when she's your girlfriend. Lock her down. I've come to a recent conclusion. This kind of going to sound like a dick, but obviously this is my show. So, this
This is the type of guy you get.
best way to say it. Don't call women beautiful unless you're going to have sex with them or you're dating them. Plain and simple. Women like compliments, but they also see you as weak when you do that. So it's just the way it is. And don't call me an incel. I'm a
Simp.
okay. Know what you're thinking. No. Only thing I can tell you, talk to her. I'm like, okay, so we're meeting up, right? Is this meet up for you to break up with me or to end things? Okay, like do that. Like, is this going to be to end things? And if she says no, and you show up and she does break up with you, cause a scene. That's all I could say. I would cause a scene. Like, bitch, I asked you if you're breaking up with me. But no, and if she says no, just show up. But yeah, hopefully if you ask her, like, you're not asking me to break up. I'd rather just do this over text or calling each other. I feel like that's just easier. That's easier for both parties. Well, in your situation, ask her, are you doing this to break up with me? And she's like, yes. That way you don't have to see her. Just get her out of your head and move on. But yeah, just be honest with her. I'm like, are you going to break up with me on this meetup? Because I've always been, most of my breakups. No, we're not talking about me. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about your problems. So I've got like one more question. So this is the last one. My boyfriend won't make romantic gestures for me, but loves rom-coms. So I've been feeling really weird lately and need some advice. My boyfriend and I have been living together for a year together and been together for about 3. We have been watching a lot of movies, and he has discovered he absolutely loves rom-coms and romantic films. He gets even giddier over them than I do, and I love that shit. Love that genre. Oh, I said shit. Genre. That's stupid. And is always rooting for the couple to end up together. And I live happily ever after, though he seems particularly excited at the idea of them having sex and will usually make a sly comment like, they're gonna fuck at the end. We usually watch an episode of a show or a film every night together. If I forget, he reminds me. Weird thing is, he seems allergic to romance in our own relationship, and it's caused rifts between us. He's never liked to plan dates or exchange gifts or even be affectionate in public. He often pushes me away. I've always been the opposite. I love planning, I love surprising him, and love spoiling him when he lets me, which is rare. It's generally fun and enjoyable for me because I'm a romantic person. I go out of my way to make him feel special, leave notes in his pockets for him to find, cook for him, dress up for him. When I communicate with him and I explain how it would make me feel loved and appreciated to receive flowers every once in a while or receive a gift on my birthday, he responds extremely defensively. He gaslights me and turns me into a problem. You're never happy with me. There's always something I'm doing wrong. Why can't you just be happy? You only want those things because other girls have it, rather than addressing the actual problem at hand and solving it together. A couple, he huffs and puffs and acts shocked and insults that I would want such crazy, unrealistic things. He has a million excuses. All right. And she lists the excuses, 5 excuses. He has no idea that I want those things, even though his desire of mine comes up at least monthly. He doesn't have any money to do those things. I've offered plenty of free gestures that would awesome. He doesn't have any time to do those things, even though he spends literally hours watching YouTube alone in his room with the door shut. He has his own room. Okay. He can't think of anything, and those ideas are so absurd. How could he possibly have known I'd want that? We've been together so long that our relationship shouldn't be like that, and men only act like that when they want sex, and after they get it, they'll stop. He insists that I leave him. No one will treat me like I want, and they do. It's only to get sex. This makes no sense to me, considering he watches a plethora of romantic movies. He knows what it looks like when someone is trying to impress or pursue or court someone. Heck, he wrote his last crush, the one before we got together, a song, and it's beautiful. I'll be the judge of that if I can hear the song. When I try to ask him on dates, he'll often reject me or go, but put absolutely zero effort into trying to look nice. I once asked him about this, and while at first denying it, he eventually admitted that if we were going to go on a date with a new girl, he would dress nicer and try harder. That really hurt. He talks a lot about novelty, actually, and how all men need it. When he doesn't gaslight me, he sometimes admits that he has been taking me for granted and that he's just a dumb boy who makes mistakes, but he offers no solution and never changes. It hurts me to see his eyes glitter and shine while he watches these movies, gets more excited over the fictional characters than he does over me. Best he treats me all year was when I came home after being at my mom's for a week. This is basically the longest we've ever been apart. He wouldn't take his eyes off me, was so handsy, and literally had a boner at the sight of me walking in the door. He kept making comments like, it's like I'm with a new girl. It lasted for about 5 hours, and then he was back to basically ignoring me and treating me like a roommate. I just want to make him happy. I've offered having threesomes or letting him sleep with other girls to be happy, though he says no. He says he loves me and doesn't much would be devastated to lose me, but his actions don't match his words. I want to see him look at me like that. Please help. What do I do? No matter how much I love him, I feel like I should end the relationship. I just don't think he'll ever feel the way about me, and I've tried everything. Is there anything I should do, say, or try before I do it? Okay, so obviously he is right. Guys who do those fucking romantic gestures in movies, if they do exist, you don't like them. I am the king of the
Simp.
So I can tell you that I'm the type of guy who would do that shit. And I can tell you that no girl has ever liked that, ever. When it happens in real life, you do not like that shit. Only certain type of guys can pull that off, and those guys are never going to do that shit. That guy, he is right there. He says, you're never going to find a guy who does that you actually like and want to do that to you. That's the thing. That's the type of guy you get.
This is the type of guy you get.
as Joe would say. But no, the thing is though, like those guys, the guys who do that and exist are not the guys you want doing that. So it sounds like you like him. If he's really gaslighting you, leave him. Like that's a pretty bad thing to do. But he has good points. He should always put effort into his dates, onto your dates. You can catch flies with honey, but you can catch more honeys being fly. And obviously, I feel like in my relationships, but obviously I scored 28 out of 40 on the NPI test. That basically all I can say is that I always plan to look better than the girl I'm with. That's just
This is the type of guy you get.
I hope one day I can get married and everyone stands when I walk down the aisle instead of her, because that is what's more important to me as a person. And apparently that's not a healthy thing, but also I do care about other people. Having to say that sounds bad. But anyways, but no, if he's really gaslighting you, do that. Sounds like he's a normal person. He just probably likes that stuff. Because he probably wishes he could do that and not dry out your pussy. Because if he actually did that shit in movies, like you remember in The Notebook when he like hangs off a Ferris wheel, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't go on a date with me. She's like, fuck, fine. And I'm like, that's not a way to get a date. If I did that, they'd be like, you need to work on your mental health and go see a therapist. So he probably wishes he could do that, but he can't, because if you did that in real life, your pussy would be the driest thing on earth. And so I think I answered all the questions. Why are you offering him to let him sleep with other women? That's fucking stupid. He should be putting in more effort to your dates. That would be something a marriage counselor would say. I should become a marriage counselor. I could probably get a talk show, fixing that shit. Like Dr. Schweezy or something like that. He's like, Dr. Schweezy is not a real doctor, so take everything with a grain of salt. Maybe I should get like a degree in relationship counseling. That's for another time, though. I think, it sounds like he likes the rom-coms because he wishes he could do that. But if you actually had him do that, so that's the thing. Someone who was raised on television can teach you that life and TV are not the same. And things that happen in movies is our fantasies, but when our fantasies become realities, it's pretty stupid. Like, let's take dragons. Dragons are typically fantasy. Dragons are cool. You like dragons, they look at dragons, but dragons were real, you'd be like, fuck no. So, all right, well, folks, that's going to be it for this episode of Cancel Schweezy. I hope I offended all of you. This has been the best episode I've ever made. I'm going to say that every episode because every other episode sucks. My EP, Ride or Die, is out now on all your streaming platforms. Go listen to it. Go follow me on Spotify. It's the best thing you do. You can follow me anywhere else at the Schweezy, unless you're on TikTok. It's at the Foreplay King. And if you have any questions, comments, concern, email the schwegcast@gmail.com. Be more than happy to help you with any more inquiries or any problems you do have. Also, my new EP, like I said, my new EP, Ride or Die, is out now. Great thing, great EP, and I like it. Subscribe on Twitch if you have an Amazon Prime account. Connect that to your Twitch account and press the subscribe instead of the follow button. Support the show even further and make sure Jeff Bezos doesn't get an extra $5. And if you also have an extra $5 you want to burn every month, support the show on Patreon, where you get ad-free episodes of all Schweezy Podcast Universe podcasts. Great. And
I really like that.
So that is how I'm going to send you off today, folks. The Renew Mind is the king, the key to the power that we lead. Everyone, go fuck yourself. And like always, stay awesome.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
Hey, you just finished a full episode of the Schwegcast. I hope your brain cells don't hurt. If you want to support this show financially in the best way possible, go check us out on Patreon for $5 a month. You, yes, you can get ad-free episodes of the Schwegcast and is the best way to personally support me and this channel.